Welcome back to another episode of Discord Drama. Today we're diving into chapter 16 of There's Treasure Inside and how this single chapter has set the community on fire. The theories are everywhere: bearings, circles, city names, even Rumpelstiltskin. Let's walk through what people are actually saying. I was listening to the There's Treasure Inside podcast and Cody dropped the Rumpelstiltskin reference, and I can't believe I missed it. I saw the fairy tale reference and just blew right past it. Most notably, I remember the character from the TV series Once Upon a Time. Rumpelstiltskin is a German fairy tale collected by the Brothers Grimm. The story is about an imp who spins straw into gold in exchange for a woman's firstborn child. The king locks the girl in a tower full of straw and demands she spin it into gold. When she despairs, the little imp-like man appears and does it for her, in return for her jewelry, and eventually her firstborn. But the queen learns his name, and when she reveals it, Rumpelstiltskin loses his bargain and disappears. Some versions even say he tore himself in two. Back in February 2025, Brendan posted this warning: "I'm going to delete my prior post because it's clear to me that some people feel it doesn't progress the hunt. So with this post, I will hope to provide helpful advice. Figure out the solve method. For example, in the Treasure's Trove, all the jeweled characters were hidden the same way. For this hunt, I believe JCB is using different solve methods for each box, meaning finding one box doesn't give you additional insights to finding the other four. I very well may be wrong, but my theory is that JCB may be borrowing components from prior treasure hunts: a Treasure's Trove, the Thrill of the Chase, the Secret Masquerade, as an homage. Beware rabbit holes and confirmation bias. In a prior hunt, I was sure I had the solve. After BOTG efforts, I came up with nothing, and someone eventually found it somewhere else. Always remember, this is still a treasure hunt. Share only what you feel comfortable sharing. Making a key finding only to have someone else use it to grab the treasure is a bitter victory. Find a small circle of friends to be more open with. Good fortune and happy hunting." One clever lady posted, "I found something in the book, in the chapter about the soccer team. It's supposed to give the direction. He says negative bearing and 75-mile radius. If there is no angle or degree, it is due west. If you go 75 miles due west from Atlanta, that's the first part. My thought is this is the starting point, and you're supposed to follow the roadmap from here." Others jumped in. "I believe it is a 100-mile radius." Cairo is mentioned, which is a city in Egypt, and so is Alexandria. That could possibly be the reason Cairo is mentioned here, which was also talked about in chapter 16. This was someone's solve last week. He went with Athens, Georgia, and searched where he thought, but didn't find anything. Another person said, "People are sure holding on to Georgia cause of one single chapter. It's most definitely on the West Coast. There are also Olympic references. People aren't looking enough into Hercules. That's a huge clue, think Golden Fleece." Someone else pointed out, "The distance quoted from Tallahassee to Atlanta is way off. I live 4 miles from Tallahassee, and it's over 140 to 170. Can't remember his exact miles, but it's off." And another added, "He said in the first chapter, all we need for success is a good roadmap." One hunter noted, "I've noticed a couple errors or discrepancies while reading the book. I don't know if they mean anything. He did say some of the stories in the book may be embellished." Chapter 22. Picasso. He says Jacqueline wouldn't let Picasso paint her, when in fact, Picasso painted her more than anyone else. Chapter 16. Atlanta Olympics. He says the Nigerian team drove 180 miles from Tallahassee to Atlanta, but it's closer to 260. The poem at the end of the book on page 210 reads, "So listen well and hear me all. Is here a typo? Should it be here? Maybe I'm just overanalyzing everything. I am known to do that. LOL. Maybe some of this has already been mentioned." Another added, "He mentions odds at least 9 times." And more corrections followed. The Nigerian team's distance was wrong. Ronaldo requested to leave in the 85th minute, not the 75th. The equalizer was the 28th minute, not the 24th. The only minute written numerically was the 74th. These aren't hard things to check. One hunter wrote, JCB used the word eureka on page 197. That's Archimedes. He was in a hot tub when he realized displacement could measure gold purity. Eureka means I found it. It's California's state motto. It's the name of towns across the U.S. California, Kansas, Colorado, Texas, Arkansas. It's also Dorothy's cat in the Wizard of Oz series. Poe wrote a prose poem called Eureka. It's the name of the first diamond found in South Africa. Goss even wrote Eureka in his diary when he proved his triangular number theorem. And then they ended with, basically, I do this every time I follow a lead, and my brain hurts all of the time. I'm confident of my solve area within a square mile. None of this helped me get any closer, but I thought it might be fun for others to read. Another user asked, if you were to formulate a roadmap, as Jon advises, how would you accomplish this task? In part 1, chapter 1, Jon begins his story in his son's room. Son's room? This is in Los Angeles. He later mentions Menlo Park, California. Has anyone mapped all the U.S. cities mentioned in part 1? Others chimed in about page backgrounds. Found this on page 144. Kinda looks like a trail or mountain range. Definitely different from the other page wrinkles. Check pages 161 to 162 also. Page 162 seems the most wrinkled, maybe folded background. I think these are intentional. So there you have it. The community on chapter 16, Rumpelstiltskin, bearings and radii, Athens, Cairo, and Alexandria, discrepancies in distances and minutes, eureka spirals, wrinkled pages, road maps, and plenty of rabbit holes. Some believe this chapter is a giant red arrow pointing the way. Others think it's misdirection, or Jon simply embellishing details. But one thing's for sure, chapter 16 has become the most important and the most divisive chapter of the entire book. And that wraps up today's Discord drama. Chapter 16 has given us plenty to argue about, and it feels like we're only scratching the surface. For more, there's treasure inside. Chapter deep dives you won't see on Discord. Join the channel for members-only videos. We're going to keep pushing forward, breaking down the chapters and connecting the clues until we get this map drawn. I'll see you in the next one.